So good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Green morning, green afternoon, and green evening to everybody world over. People, those are joining this particular webinar series. Yet another very important evening. And somebody the other day came on this wellness Ayurveda seminar and webinar. And that person shared that put your finger next to the nose. And if you can feel that you're still breathing, you should consider yourself very fortunate and you should thank to the God that you are still in this world and you're taking care of yourself. So ladies and gentlemen, while telling green morning, green afternoon, and green evening and welcoming all of you from the world over, let me request each one of you, please take care of your health, take care of your wellness, do a little bit of yoga, meditation, eat healthy, remain fit, think positive, talk positive, walk positive, talk to your family members, be happy, listen to the good music so that you remain positive. Avoid negative news, watching too much of television because that takes you into the different arena of life. Today is the 76th webinar, and today we have got a wonderful lady who is joining us from all the way United Kingdom, that's the UK, Dr. Barbara Maas. She's a founder and the chief executive, People for Nature and Peace. So there is a beautiful town near London and a little away from there that's called where the University of Surrey, the Guildford and that area, where she belongs to. She would be sharing in a little while with us lots of thought process. And today we are going to dedicate to the evening where we will talk about nature, environment, ecotourism, wildlife tourism, at the same time human tourism, green tourism, nature tourism. At the same time, we got to be taking care of the nature, and nature, if we respect, nature will take care of us. So all the species on this planet, whether animals or human beings, and for that matter, trees, plantation, whatever we have got, we all got to live in the harmony. So ladies and gentlemen, from Canada, Latin America, and USA, let me get you to the area of Dr. Barbara Maas this evening, that is Europe. When I'm talking about European Union, different countries, and when I'm talking about UK, hearty welcome to Dr. Barbara Maas this evening. And of course, all the participants and all the distinguished guests, those are joining us after lunch from Europe for this particular program. Let me move from there and come to Central Asia. People join us every evening from Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Afghanistan. At the same time, when I talk about people join us from different parts of South Asia also, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and of course India. When I talk about Bharat, आज का दिन बहुत ही शुभ है क्योंकि आज राम जन्मभूमि पर आज राम जी के अयोध्या में एक बहुत बड़ा फंक्शन था। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री भारत के वहां पर गए और उन्होंने आज जो वहां का शिलान्यास किया और जो जहां से एक शुरुआत हुई और अब राम मंदिर आगे बनेगा। सो उस प्रोसेस को लेते हुए let me extend and giving a hearty welcome to each one of us in India and moving to Southeast Asia, where we have got 10 beautiful countries in the ASEAN. We have got Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Brunei, all the 10 countries. So grateful to people joining from there. And of course, little ahead, I have got Bahrain also. And then of course, another region I talk about, when I talk about Middle East, Doha, Qatar, Oman, Kuwait, Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, so many places people join this particular program. We extend you a very warm welcome. Our distinguished guest, she will be sharing her thought process in a little while. Before that, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you a couple of slides for the benefit of those people who join in today for the first time and they are becoming a part of this particular program. So hearty welcome to each one of you at the 76th webinar, Making Education Relevant, where there's a global confluence of educators, motivators, visionaries, counselors, technocrats, and whosoever is directly, indirectly to empower the entire education ecosystem. We extend them a very hearty welcome. New education policy also has been announced in India. So that's another milestone we have been discussing in the last couple of programs till yesterday. Now, our chamber, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, since 1994, we are in the service. We are trying to bridge the permutation, combination, collaboration, and whatever we can bring in the fold. Indians, those have gone abroad and they're living in different countries, different part of the world, how they could be linked with their soil, and particularly their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, because the fourth generation has come. And when I talk about some of them, those have not visited India, they do not know where their grandparents were. So ladies and gentlemen, this chamber basically, through its services, link up all the 30 million non-resident Indians world over. And of course, some of us, those are doing lots of CSR activities also. We are proud of you because you're doing great job. You're doing a phenomenal task in the various areas. And yet another area could be environment protection, animal protection as well. So making education relevant, Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. we hold this webinar, and Saturday we talk about your wellness, your health, your mental health, your physical health, and of course with that your spiritual health. And somebody told me now the other day, emotional health. So that is of course is again a part of the wellness. So hearty welcome to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, during this coronavirus pandemic, the lockdown, because of that, the thought processes are affected, business is affected, physical and mental health is affected, and the main part of the universe is the education is also deeply affected because children are away from schools, colleges, institutions, polytechnics, ITIs, universities. They are not in a position to reach, but children are very sensitive. And I think every child is precious to their parents, to humanity, to society, to civilization. We got to protect them the best possible way. At the same time, teachers are trying their level best to reach out every child through the innovative pedagogies, flipped learning, digital learning, innovative teaching, and whatever they can impart by radio, by television, by mobile phone, and a couple of other gadgets they are using to reach out the students, the youth, and the children. So commendable job being done. Besides doctors, those are warriors, nurses, paramedical, teachers are also doing great job. And particularly when I talk about India, we believe the whole world is one family. We all live in peace. We all live in harmony. We all live like brothers and sisters world over. Nobody should try to dominate and bulldoze anybody. And Vasudev Kutumbakam, when I talk about, that means one world, one love, one family. All of us together world over, let's live nicely, peacefully, while respecting each other the best possible way. And of course, we got to respect the nature as well. Otherwise, the same thing will happen. We would be locked inside the residences and all the infrastructure, what you have built up outside. On the roads, you will have the animals, those will be walking. They will be carrying out the inspection, whether you are at home or not. So this is in the lighter note I wish to share with all of you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during this coronavirus, our chamber, ICSI, through its finishing school, the Global Finishing School, we are trying to reach out world over, whichsoever country, whichsoever region, whichsoever area, continent, wherever you need any kind of a support from our side, we would be more than happy to be associated with all of you. And ladies and gentlemen, there comes, we wish to share with all of you that we discuss with you, we empower, and we try and help out all the teachers, educators, youth, globally, whatever we can do. Ultimately, the aim is children should get life management skills. And whatever education we are taking, whether in the school, that is your school education or higher education or technical education, it should have application and applicability in your life. Unless it is not relevant to day-to-day life, it's of no use. That part is very important. Now, we started this series on 5th of June. Why did we start this on 5th of June? Because 5th of June by United Nations is a World Environment Day. And when we talk about environment, our environment is affected, and that's why this coronavirus is there. This virus has come in the environment, and it has changed the global environment. And imagine what all has happened world over. So ladies and gentlemen, all the study which our chamber is carrying out world over in different countries through our research scholars and through our presidents, associates, advisors, we have come to know that the next global misunderstanding is going to be on the water issues. Water issues, that means some of the countries will make a lot of dams, they will block the water. And at the same time, some of the countries, they would try and open the floodgate whenever they would like to bring floods or difficulties or problems or whatsoever you can, they would like to disturb the ecosystem of any country. So water conservation is something very important which we all have to take care of. So at present, children are home with their parents. It's a moral responsibility and a duty of every parent. Please teach your children how to save every drop of water. And as you know very well, lots of people world over, they have to go miles and miles together to fetch one just bucket or a pitcher, you know, of the water so that they can survive. So how to save every drop of the water in your bathroom, in your kitchen, in your residence, wherever we are wasting water, please try and save it. And people, those are world over, whatever you have got in your mind to save water, share the thought process with us in chat box. Give us with your name, your suggestions. How can we save water world over? That part is very important, which we would like to share. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Monday to Friday, we talk directly with you onto the education. And of course, as I told you, Saturday morning, we have got Making Education Relevant, dedicated to Lord Buddha. And 500 million plus people world over, they are followers of the Buddhism. And when I talk about followers of Buddhism, what did Buddha say? What is Buddha's teaching? And how Buddha's teaching is relevant to today's education system. Every Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. onwards, we deliberate and discuss on the relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education. I'm so grateful to Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji, who is International Buddhist Confederation Secretary General. He's trying to get the confluence from the world over of the experts, visionaries, and good talkers, orators, speakers. Those are coming and they're talking and they're sharing their thought process with all of us. So don't forget to join us on 8th of August. Today is 5th, on 8th, that is coming Saturday morning. Do join us. It would be a pleasure to have you with us on that particular day. And then comes Saturday evening, as I was talking, Ayurveda for global wellness. Wellness is more important than health. People do not want to go for any surgery. Rather, they want to recover and recoup in a natural way. For that matter, what you eat, what you think, what you dream, what you talk, what you walk is very important. So yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition, positive thoughts, all that is a part of our life. And as I get worried a little bit, cases in India are increasing, and some of the people world over are giving me a kind of a tremors that there may be a second wave. Nobody knows today what the world is going to be, when this pandemic is going to get over, when the first vaccine will come. Even if the vaccine comes, who is going to get the first vaccine? Whether it's going to be available to general masses, only to selective people. So lot is to be, so thereby our thought process and our body, both we have to take care of very well. And Ayurveda for the global wellness, we bring for all of you every Saturday evening at 7 p.m. So don't forget, as today you are joining us on the Facebook Live, Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page, open your watch party. Don't keep the knowledge only to yourself. Spread the knowledge, spread the fragrance, share the information, share with everybody. Whatsoever God has given you, please share with others, share with everybody. And nobody is going to take anything from this world except good memories, and that is by other people who will be on this planet, and they would say, oh, he was a good person, he was a good soul, he was a good spirit, he did good for humanity. So do good for humanity, do good for human beings, do good for animals also, be respectable to nature as well. That is very important, which we all wish to share with each other. Ladies and gentlemen, then comes Sunday morning. Every Sunday morning, we talks about India's epics, India's Vedas, India's Upanishad. And nowadays we are talking about Srimad Bhagavad Gita. 6 to 7 chapters are already over. And imagine the gentleman comes all the way from United States who shares the information with us, Professor Satendra Dhimanji. He comes every Sunday morning and 9:30 a.m. onwards. Like Saturday morning, we talk about Buddhism. Sunday morning, we talk about Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Do join us. Be a part of this journey. You will enjoy. There is nothing to lose to learn from others and to share the information. I want to be a student. I want to be a humble student of all of you, those who have joined this program today, whether via webinar or you have come on the Zoom, or whether you have come on to the Facebook, wherever you have come, I'm so grateful to all of you. You all are my teachers. I want to learn from each one of you at this age. If I want to learn, as you grow in age, you have to become more humble. You have to become more polite. You have to become more courteous. You have to respect humanity. You have to respect others' values and others' thought process. We have to respect each other. Let's live beautifully. Let's make this planet beautiful place. That is the way we got to be taken care of. Then comes Sunday evening, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of followers of Buddhism, they are right in the ASEAN countries, 10 countries. Then we go to South Korea also. We go to Japan also. We go to Taiwan also. We go to a couple of other countries. I'm so grateful to all the people who join us. So every Sunday evening, 5 p.m., do join us when we have got a series with you, India ASEAN webinar series, where we talk about India and ASEAN, how it can grow together. And ladies and gentlemen, on a popular request and a popular demand, this Sunday, that is coming Sunday, that is 9th of August onward, we are starting a new webinar for all of you. And that is going to be on micro, small and medium enterprise. Whether you are in agriculture, you are in manufacturing, or you are in services sector, irrespective what business you are into micro, you are into small, you are into medium. If you're doing anything you are doing on this planet, or should you wish to do anything and you're looking forward to any support, we have given this responsibility to Shri Rabindranath Ji, the former CMD of the National Small Industries Corporation, Ministry of MSME, who had been very kind. He would be chairing and he would be sharing, and he will be getting the visionaries and the stakeholders together on a common platform for all of us. So do join us, those are interested. If you feel you're out of job, because I know at this point of time, MSME has suffered quite a bit. Ask my heart. My heart bleeds when I think about tourism, when I think about hospitality, when I think about airlines, retail, media entertainment, and other services segments, those are suffering. We have got new avenues, we have got new opportunities, we have got new beginning and a new morning for all of us. The sun will rise again tomorrow morning. You've got to believe that, you've got to live with that. So don't forget to join us Sunday evening, 7 p.m., 9th of August, for another powerful series which we are starting on micro, small and medium enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, we are dedicating the entire journey to women empowerment. So rightly said, if you educate a male member, you educate individual. But if you educate a female, that means a girl child, you educate next 7th generation. I learned from my daughter, I learned from my wife, I learned from my mother, I learned from my grandmother, I learned from my daughter-in-law. They all teach me so much, and I want to be a humble student of theirs. Early in the morning, because after this webinar, I go to sleep and I get up quite early in the morning. My first lesson starts early in the morning with my morning walk in my balcony when I get lots of input and I keep telling them, tell me something new, tell me some story which I can share with the humanity in the evening. And that makes me positive early in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, more than 60,000 thoughts, they pass through our mind every day. And consciously you have to make them positive, because by nature they are negative sometimes. If my son is getting late and he has not come home timely, I will never think positive that, oh, he must be helping somebody, he must have got busy somewhere. Negative thought will come. Everything should be all right with him, nothing should go outside wrong with him. Why? Because by nature conscious has made us negative. That way negative thoughts, you've got to consciously make them positive. You've got to make them positive. You've got to make them positive, because positivity only will give you long life. Positivity will give you good health. And listen to music. Music is a beautiful notes. If you enjoy music, if you sing, if you do humming, if you sing yourself, nothing like that, it works like a lubricant in your body. Music is a wonderful, wonderful happiness. You got to understand. So I was talking about women empowerment. Let me come next. Don't forget to join us 12th of August, Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, United Nations World Youth Day celebrations. Our chamber from morning 9 o'clock to evening 9 o'clock. That means 12 hours, non-stop celebrations, jubilations, congratulations, positivity, schools, colleges, polytechnic, institutions. Whatever you talk about, you think about, everybody is going to be together. And I would request the whole world, people, those are watching this particular program, give me one child, one girl child from your country. Send today itself in this chat box the name of the girl child with the details. Give me the details with the name of the girl, with, of course, the contact details and others. I want to get the confluence of the whole world. The youth should get together. That is the way we want to work out World Youth Day celebrations. Wednesday, 12th of August. So we're going to have webinar, we're going to have Facebook live, and I have sent across invitation to a lot of motivators, a lot of creators, and I'm trying to get, you would be so happy to know there is a Madam Shivani from, Brahma Kumaris, who talks about positivity. I sent across a request to her. I hope she will listen to my prayers. Similar way, I have sent to Sadhguruji. I have sent to Shri Ravi Shankar ji. I have sent across to Baba Ramdev ji. I have sent across to a lot of people. Let them come that day. 5 minutes also if they talk. How to remain positive. Ladies and gentlemen, it will give you lots of positivity. And if you are positive, this coronavirus also we will overcome. So don't forget to join us on the World Youth Day celebrations, Wednesday, 12th of August. Now, this is my last slide before I introduce you my celebrity, my distinguished guest, and my warrior, and my evening legend, the lady who is joining us today from all the way from United Kingdom, who will be sharing her thought process with us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the philosophy of my life. On the top, what you see, whatever human mind can conceive and believe, is very important. And I want to give this message to the entire universe. Nobody knows how many breaths you have got on this planet. But as long as you have got the voice from the Almighty, as long as you have got this constitution, this body, as long as you have got the spirit, and as long as you have got the vocals from the Almighty, it's a shame if we disappear from this world without contributing something substantial on this planet. The God has sent us over here with a purpose. He has got specific objective. There is nobody on this planet who doesn't hold a quality, who doesn't hold uniqueness, who doesn't hold speciality, who doesn't hold something innovative and creative. The only thing is you've got to bring it out, you've got to share with the world, and let's empower others. The more you share with others, the nature would help you. The Almighty will help you. The God will help you. Whatsoever you believe in, that would help you. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Start conceiving good ideas. So start conceiving positive thoughts and start believing in yourself. You can achieve a lot in this universe. Let's come together, making education relevant, because education is the base of this pyramid. Education is the base of the universe. Education is the base of peace and harmony and a brotherhood and a good human beings on this planet. If you make education relevant, accessible, and seamless world over for every child, the world would be a better place. UNESCO is doing a wonderful job. All the teachers are doing great job. All the human beings on this planet, those are directly or indirectly associated with education, they are doing great job. It's a global confluence of educators, motivators, technocrats, and counselors together on this platform. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, ICSI India.in, send us your email. If you want to be a panelist, if you want to give any suggestions, you can put today in your chat box also. We are looking forward to a lot of togetherness, podlock. Put your thought process, and there's a big podlock. Put your thoughts and ideas into that. Give back to the humanity what God has given you. Let's help out the humanity the best possible way. You can send us a WhatsApp also. Should you wish to share any of the quick ideas, you can send the WhatsApp on these two numbers. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, let me have the privilege and let me have the honor and let me share a small CV biodata of my today's celebrity, my distinguished guest, my little, I would say, as an elder brother, a little sister from UK, Dr. Barbara Maas, founder and chief executive, People for Nature and Peace. Wherever you are world over, put your hands together to extend a very warm lady. Oh, I'm so happy. All the children, those who have joined me today in this program, they are clapping and I can hear those claps very well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to share Dr. Barbara Maas has been into international wildlife conservation and animal welfare for 3 decades. I was sharing with all of you, ladies and gentlemen, we got to respect nature and animals are the part of this universe. As we take care of human beings, we got to take care of the animals as well. She has worked as an advisor and chief executive for conservation and animal welfare organizations around the world and in marine conservation for the New Zealand Civil Service. In 2005, association with His Holiness Dalai Lama Ji, Dr. Maas initiated the Tibetan Conservation Awareness Campaign in 2005. She was appointed Secretary for Environment and Conservation of International Buddhist Confederation in 2013 and was elected on the IBC board in 2017. How can I not say Buddham Saranam Gacchami? Dr. Barbara was instrumental in facilitating the first ever Buddhist statement on climate change, which was presented at the Paris Climate Summit in 2015 and the Nalanda Declaration on Animals and the Environment. In 2019, she founded the conservation and animal welfare charity, People for Nature and Peace. I endorse People for Nature and Peace, which is dedicated to promoting kindness and fostering compassionate and responsible stewardship of the natural world to elevate suffering, counter species extinction, and promote sustainable living and peace. And she's doing a great job in India at this point of time. and that too, the place I love, and I have already requested Almighty, because I'm not going to get moksha, I'm going to come back on this planet because I have not done good karmas. And if I have not done good karmas, if I have to come back on this planet, I wish to be reborn in the northeast part of India. I will be coming in one of the state of northeast part of India. And when I talk about my sister, Dr. Barbara Maas from the UK, has taken a noble cause in the state of Assam, which I would request her to share this evening with all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, we will also be getting, after Dr. Barbara Maas finishes her conversation, 6 girls under women empowerment. Each one of them will be talking to us for 2 minutes, and they will share their thought process, what they want to tell every girl child world over. And we want entire girl child, women folk to be empowered world over. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, let me remove the curtains, and like it happens in media entertainment industry, let me extend a very warm welcome, hearty welcome from all the fellow Indians to Dr. Barbara Maas this evening, who is this celebrity and who is going to talk to all of us. Hearty welcome to you, ma'am. Hearty welcome to you, sister. And what a pleasure to have you. First of all, nature, environment, Buddhism. You come from Germany. I do not know, we call evening Guten Tag or Guten Abend or Guten
Abend.
Okay. So
Guten Abend, India.
So she's basically from Germany, and she went on a scholarship and she worked, she studied in UK, which ma'am will be talking to us. I consider her my little sister because so much to learn from her, so much to know from her, and so much to gain from her, particularly when I talk about environment, when I talk about conservation, when I talk about wildlife, and all my brothers and sisters, because tourism is passing through difficult times. When you talk about ecotourism, nature tourism, wildlife tourism, herbal tourism, green tourism, people, those are in Assam, those are in Northeast, and those are rest of the world. Let's come together this evening when she is sharing the thought process with all of us. With these words, hearty welcome to you, and I give silence to myself and I hand over the mic to you, lady.
Thank you so much. Dr. Sharma, I am always amazed at your energy, and I wished I could bottle it and keep it in my fridge. It is astonishing. Thank you. And so pleased to be here with you, and thank you for all of you who are here to give up your evening to listen to me drone on about something that is not only very close to my heart, but also I think is of vital importance to every single being on this planet. So it starts out a bit grim, but please bear with me. Don't shoot the messenger. But there is hope, and if there can be hope, India with the Nalanda tradition and so on and so forth, I think you have an enormous chance here to teach the rest of the world a thing or two about how it's done. So I'm very grateful to you to be here, and I'll get straight in. I hope this will work with the screen sharing.
Sure, sure, please go ahead. And also share with us, how did you come from Germany to UK, and how your study period, your PhD, do talk about that also a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I've always wanted to, I originally wanted to become a vet because I love animals, but I happen to be allergic to everything under the sun. Cats, dogs, cows, bears, lions, elephants, birds, everything. So this is really mean because this was a bit of a blow because I wanted to do something that would help animals. So instead of becoming a vet, I thought I'll become a wildlife biologist and learn about how nature works and spend lots of time in nature, which I've done as a child with my dog. I grew up in the 60s and 70s. So it was a time where in Europe you could still go as a little girl into the woods on your own or with your friends without worrying about somebody dragging you off into the bushes. So that was all right. And I was brought up by trees, I think, more than by my parents. So I learned a lot by being out there. And it's my home. I love trees, I love nature. And I was very lucky as a student to do my PhD, to travel to Tanzania in East Africa, to the Serengeti National Park, where I studied a little fox for 5 years to figure out what it's doing. So I'm a wildlife biologist by training. So I studied in Cambridge for my PhD, and then went on to do a postdoc in Oxford. And then I thought, what am I doing here? You know, you're writing papers that then sit on the shelf. I wanted to help. I wanted to make a difference. And I'm not doing it. I'm sitting here publishing with everybody else. Who can get the next paper out? Who will be the next member of the Royal Society? You know, all that kind of thing. And I thought, stop. And so I did something where everybody said, you are mad. I left a lectureship in Oxford and I started working for environmental and animal welfare NGOs as a scientific advisor. And I've been doing that for a long time now. And last year I thought it was time to start on my own and start my own little NGO. Unfortunately, this is not a very good time, but you know, we will not let this stop us. And there are so many dedicated people around the world, including in India, who, coronavirus or not, are pressing on to do what needs to be done for people and for wildlife and for nature. So if I may, can you tell me if
so you have a right. You can open and you can share the screen at your own. Yes, it has come.
Has it come?
Yes.
Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes. You start.
So it says you can see no nature, no us?
Yes, it has come.
Wonderful. Okay. So this is pretty much what we are going to talk about. We often think about environmental conservation and animals and all this as an afterthought. First, we need to look after poverty and after, but all sorts of other issues. We forget that all of these things are related. And I hope that I will be able to show you in this talk today and to share with you why that is and why, therefore, it is so important that we look after our house.
Dr. Barbara.
Yes?
You should get international award on this picture. I have never ever seen, because I have been working while being with the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, going to Latin America, Costa Rica. And when I started ecotourism, I have never seen you have shown the human hand and how you have shown the nature. It's remarkable. I must compliment you. On this picture.
Oh, thank you. I will send it to you, Dr. Sharma. I will send it to you. So can we have the next one, please, Barbara? Okay. So you may find this a bit of an odd picture. It's about 30 years ago, the cosmologist, an astronomer, Carl Sagan, American, very famous astronomer, he asked that the Hubble space, the Voyager on its way out of the solar system was turned around. He asked NASA to turn it around to look back into space. And that little black white dot that you see there, that's Earth. That's Earth. So everybody from Alexander the Great to, to the great Indian rulers, to every lion that ever roared, every dream that was ever dreamt, every idea that was ever had, every war that was ever fought and every bit of love that ever existed happened on this planet. Just for a bit of perspective. So this is our home, and all of us, regardless of where we are, and I applaud you for always talking about the global village and for emphasizing, Dr. Sharma, that we are all together in this, that we have to move away from this tribal idea of, you know, me, my family, my village, my part of the country, my continent. All of this is more important. If everybody thinks that, we will forever be at conflict. And there are so many of us that we now really need to concentrate on our home here, this beautiful, beautiful blue marble. So I would like to start with a scientific publication that was published in 1992. And it's called The Scientist's Warning to Humanity. It was signed by 1,700 scientists from all over the world. Many of them were Nobel laureates. And it had the message that humanity significantly impacts the planet and the biosphere. And unless we need to change in terms of, you know, stopping using fossil fuels, slowing down population growth, and stopping species decline, there will be serious problems. Now, our colleague, Bill Ripple, has 25 years later looked at how the 9 indicators, like the life signs of the planet that were documented in 92 had changed in the intervening 25 years. So that was the World Scientists' Warning to Humanity, a second notice, and it was published in 2016. It was now signed by 20,000 scientists. That's unheard of. Scientists are generally not gobby like me. They are not so outspoken. They present data, and they leave it at that. So there is a lot of unrest amongst the scientific community about where we're heading. And they've come out with a 13-point action plan of what needs to happen if we want to keep the planet livable. And they also formed the Alliance of World Scientists, which I ask all of you that have a scientific background that are here today to please join. You can easily find them when you Google it. So please don't pay too much attention to the details here. So these are 3 of the 9 vital signs that Ripple and his colleagues looked at and how they changed. So the first one is the ozone depletion. That's the only one where we've actually managed to create an improvement. So you can see that ozone levels were going up until sort of the late 80s, and then because of our actions and because of strong action that was taken, they came down again. Now, this echoes what you said before, Dr. Sharma. Freshwater resources per capita, the availability has shrunk dramatically. I mean, look, that is a massive drop. Marine catch, that's fish caught in the ocean, has gone up and up and up and up, and now it's going down. And that's not because people have said, okay, we need to step away from the ocean and leave them alone a bit. It's because there's not more in there. So there's a much bigger effort made by all countries to catch fish, but they just can't catch the level that we used to have. The second set of vital signs, ocean dead zones. So they are areas where nothing lives anymore in the ocean. Through pollution, lack of oxygen, you can see that the number of ocean dead zones has gone up dramatically from less than 50 around 1960 to over 600 today. So that's massive, that's significant, and it's not good. A curve that goes the other way is if you look at global forest cover. a massive crash where we're cutting down forests. Equally, if you look at vertebrate species, they're disappearing. And the last set, so CO2 emissions are going up, temperature is going up, global temperature average, and human population and livestock is going up. So we have a problem. Houston or Delhi, we have a problem in this case. So to summarize some of these changes since '92, we have now 26% less fresh water per person on the planet than we did 25 years ago. We've lost almost 300 million acres of forest. There has been a 75% increase in the number of ocean dead zones since 1992, and almost a third of mammals, reptiles, amphibians, birds, and fish have disappeared. So that can't be good. Our footprint on the planet is so big that an informal new name has been coined for this time we live in, namely the Anthropocene. That's the age of man. So you see here shipping routes in blue, roads in green, air networks in white. You can see this is a huge planetary takeover that we have started, and that manifests, as we all know, as one of the things is climate change. So if we look at global average temperatures between 1880 and 2020, or it goes up to 2015 here actually, the trend is quite clear. Most people are worried about CO2 emissions. But we get that burning feeling on the globe also because of methane, which is a much more aggressive greenhouse gas than CO2. In fact, 20 times more potent than CO2. And it's being released from melting permafrost in the Arctic. This is in Alaska, where people are just literally able to light a fire by poking through the snow into the permafrost because the methane escapes. And what you then get is a runaway effect, because the warmer it gets, the more the permafrost melts, the more methane is released, so that you hit a point at some point where even if everybody switched off everything, it would still get worse because of this runaway process. Sea ice in the Arctic has melted dramatically. Many of you will have seen this. If you look at roughly half of it since 79 is gone. The yellow line shows you where we used to be. And of course, India and the whole of the Asian region, which you talked about, is very dependent on the third pole, which is the Himalayas, the waters and the glaciers in the Himalayas, which are melting. So the effects of climate change on all of us are overall higher rainfall, an increased, ironically, of drought. We haven't had rain here for ages. We are turning into the Mediterranean here. I'm out with the water hose every day, which is not very, good, but I'm hoping it's a freak and the rain will come. More flooding from storms, rising sea levels, more frequent extreme weather levels, events, freshwater shortages, ocean acidification, which means that mussels and shrimp and all the little animals that rely on calcium for their shells can't form shells anymore. And that means very important parts of the food chain are being removed. Agricultural productivity loss because of droughts or storms, more deaths from floods, storms, heat waves and droughts, both for animals and people. Plant and animal extinctions, increase in diseases such as malaria and food and waterborne diseases and malnutrition, mass migrations, because people can't make a living somewhere anymore, so they're trying to move somewhere else. You have the issue with Bangladesh in part, in India. We have it also here in Europe. And as a result of the mass migration and the migration, economic migration, you get social conflict over access. And that's where the link with peace comes in. Not sure what's, so here's some people who have plotted not just where is climate change happening, but where are people most vulnerable, which parts of the world are most vulnerable to climate change. And you can see that unfortunately India is smack bang in the middle, as is the Asian region, not to mention Africa, which is of course also in the teeth of it. We've already mentioned the ocean dead zones, which are, which have increased massively. This is what it looks like. Here's an ocean dead zone, and there's normal water. So extinction rates today are about 1,000 times higher than normal, and the loss of species is speeding up, which is worse. So the red list, most of you will have heard of the red list of threatened species, which is coming out every couple of years. It's getting longer and longer and longer and longer every year. We are at a point where now 60% of large herbivores are threatened with extinction. 60% of large herbivores. That includes giraffes, elephants, hippos, rhinos, buffalo. So if you look, for example, at the range of the African elephant, the historical range in blue, and the red bits are where you find them now, and the same for hippos and the same for black rhinos. So this is grim. Large carnivores, the situation is even worse. 3/4 of them are threatened with extinction. 3/4. So tigers, leopards, your bears are all included in India. And one of my favorite animals, and I'm sure yours as well, the biggest cat on our planet, has experienced a huge population and range contraction. So 100 years ago, there were about 100,000 tigers. And you can see in the sandy colored, you can see where tigers used to be. And the green bits are where they are hanging on by the tip of their claws still, although India is doing a fantastic job in protecting them. Numbers are going up again, but slowly. But just to put things in perspective, we have about 3,900 left now. So we live in an area in an age where there is a biological annihilation happening. Now, why should this concern us, that half of the world's wildlife has been wiped out in 40 years? Well, if you think about an ecosystem, it is like an engine, like a machine, like a car. It works. And if you take one part out, or one part doesn't work properly anymore, the car will still drive, but it may not be so good anymore. You take another couple of parts out and another couple of parts, eventually the thing grinds to a halt. And every breath of air and every drink of water and every bit of food we eat depends on these natural processes. So without, one of the slogans we have for my charity, People for Nature and Peace, is no nature, no us. And one of the big things is here. Why is this happening? This is why it's happening. This is the last 10,000 years to 2019 human population growth. You are here. And We are living in a finite system. It's a bit as if you, as much as you love all your family, if they all came to live with you in your house and expected to live off your income, it wouldn't work. It just couldn't be done. And that's kind of where we are now. So between 1950 and 2020, the human population has tripled. And so we used to be 1950, 2.5 billion roughly, and we're now at 7.1 something billion. And that means that we need 3 times, not exactly, but roughly 3 times as much fuel, fossil fuels, timber, coal, nuclear energy, whatever it is we're using. Electricity, we need more water, we need more fish, more meat for those of us who eat it, we need more food, more plant food, we need more spaces to live, we need more spaces to grow the things we need to eat and to manufacture the many things that we use, such as towels and toilet paper and coffee cups, all those kinds of things. So humans, if you, the purple graph is human population growth, and the green graph is species extinctions. And you can see that there is a bit of a link. You know, they have a similar curve, and I don't believe that to be a coincidence. So, what's going on? So, at the moment, yeah, there are some people who collect data from all over the world for Earth Overshoot Day, and they look at how many resources we use in comparison to the resources that can regenerate within a year on the Earth. And that's just the resources we use, not other species. So at the moment, we use 1.75 Earth. So it is the resources, you know, in terms of timber, water, food, all of those kinds of things, species. We consume a lot more than the Earth can regenerate. And if you translate that to human behavior, say if you spend 1.75 times as much as your income every year, you'll go bankrupt. And that's where we're heading. Conversely, if we're looking at the Global Sustainability Index between 2006 and 2016, those 10 years, human well-being around the globe has actually improved. Economic well-being on average has improved, while renewable energy and greenhouse gas emissions have gotten worse and environmental well-being has gotten worse. This is a little known fact, which I find terrifying. It's a report that was published by the World Health, or by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, that says we need topsoil to grow about 95% of the food we eat around the world. 95% of the food we eat depends on topsoil. And about a third of this topsoil has already been degraded. That's mainly because of intensive farming techniques, deforestation, and global warming. The FAO says that if current rates of degradations continue, all of the world's topsoil could be gone within 60 years. And they said that almost 10 years ago. So that's serious. Can you imagine, in terms of peace and social stability and conflict, what this is, the potential that we're facing here? And if you think, well, a bit of topsoil will just make some. Well, it takes about 1,000 years to make 3 centimeters of topsoil. So we need to really learn and change. So agriculture is one of the major areas that threaten species, and we've already converted more than 1/3 of the Earth's surface to agricultural land, and this is going to get worse. And then there's, of course, direct exploitation. That's, you know, people, we get that in Africa and in Europe a lot, and in many parts of Southeast Asia, direct exploitation where people just go and just kill everything or catch everything within, they can, because for some reason, a bird or an animal is worth only something once it's dead or once it's caged, rather than as a building block of the ecosystem that keeps us alive. Now we know that we're all aware of the CO2 emissions that are core and the greenhouse gas emissions as a result of transport. They make up about 15% of greenhouse gas emissions. So that's cars, planes, trains, boats, everything. What people don't generally are aware of is that 51%, so roughly half, of greenhouse gas emissions are generated by the production of livestock. How frightening is that? I'll just move past this. So livestock for meat, in part, and for dairy. So you can see here the FAO's projection of the increase of human population in the blue, and meat consumption in red. So not only are there more of us eating meat, but we're also eating more of it, which is not helping our cause. And as far back as 2019, so 10 years ago now, the UN, who is hardly a radical activist organization, said that a global shift towards a vegan diet is vital to save the world from hunger, fuel poverty, and the worst impacts of climate change. That's the UN saying it, but you don't hear it around much because nobody wants to hear it. It's uncomfortable. So here's a solution where we don't have to wait for politicians and governments and, you know, international bodies to make a decision. We all have control over what we put on our plate. And India, of course, is one of the most vegetarian countries on the planet, and I applaud you. It's taken me a while as a German sausage eater to become vegetarian and vegan, but I'm there, and I have been for 30 years or so, but it's taken me longer than I wished it had. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the scariest thing I have ever seen. This graph related to shows the compares data from 10,000 years ago and today. And 10,000 years ago, most of the land vertebrate biomass, that's birds, reptiles, mammals, amphibians on the planet, made up 99% of that. And we and our livestock were 1%. And it's been exactly flipped around. Wild animals are now a shocking 1% of the vertebrate biomass on our planet. Humans make up 32 and livestock 67. And if you add those together, you get 99. So we have exactly turned the situation on its head. And if anyone tells you that will be without consequences, they are lying to you. So to summarize, the downstream effects of human overpopulation are shortages of essential resources, such as food, water, fuel, and housing. And I don't need to tell you how dangerous that situation is in terms of social unrest within countries and between countries, conflict between countries. Increased emissions and waste, health and welfare of humans, both physical and psychological, declining biodiversity and environmental health, displacement, mass migration, war and conflict, and the risk of pandemics. Pandemics, you will say? Well, I just quickly say something about, if you allow me, can I still go on a little bit? Yeah.
Please,
I know it's late.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead. It's very interesting, very informative.
Oh,
So,
yes, ma'am, you can.
thank you. Thank you. I don't want to bore you and think, when will she be quiet?
No,
So,
I'm actually enjoying this.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and this brings us again to this, we need a holistic view, Nalanda tradition, Hinduism, Buddhism. You are part of the world, can give us that, can give this to the rest of the world. We need a holistic view, and not just theoretically, but we actually need to live it. A holistic view and a holistic approach to how we live. It may surprise you to hear that 70% of emerging infectious diseases have come from animals since 1940s. 70%. And 65% of those 75% come from wild animals. More and more zoonotic diseases, those are diseases that make the jump from animals to humans, such as COVID-19 or the plague or SARS or swine flu, they make the jump. More and more of them are appearing quicker and quicker. And agricultural drivers are behind a quarter of all infectious diseases in humans. Never mind that. So zoonotic diseases are on the rise. China has banned the trade of many wild animals for human consumption, but not unfortunately, for medicinal use. And of course, if you take, for example, snakes in China are used, the meat is used for food, the gallbladder and the blood is used for medicinal purposes, and the skin is used for leather. So somebody who breeds snakes now can no longer sell the meat, but he can still sell the blood and the gallbladders, and he can still sell the leather. So he will continue to breed and sell snakes. Animals on these markets that we find all over Asia, over Southeast Asia, particularly in China, these wildlife markets are horrendous. And they bring species together that would otherwise never meet, which creates wonderful conditions for a virus to start adapting. The conditions are very unhygienic, blood mixes, and so on and so forth. I won't take your dinner appetite away from you completely. As far back as 15 years ago, scientists got together and mapped where they thought there were hotspots for emerging diseases. And you can see again that this region is very, your region is very important, and that's because there is a high human density, high biodiversity, and high use of wildlife, particularly in Southeast Asia, which means there is contact, and contact is all a virus needs to start adapting to us. There's a study that shows that as soon as we have contact with animals, viruses start to adapt. And we can see now what it's cost us in terms of COVID-19, which has paralyzed the whole planet and is still doing so. We are in the UK and in many other European countries here are still are sort of bracing ourselves for the second wave and a second lockdown. So instead of looking at climate crisis, biodiversity crisis, and the pandemic crisis as different things that are not connected, we need to look at the whole thing. We need a holistic approach that deals with this, and it's called a One Health approach. That means that human health and the health of the planet are related, and healthy humans cannot live on an unhealthy, sick, or dying planet. So we need to move away from an egocentric view of our place in the world. In the West, we even had this idea, you see, that humans, the Earth, was the center of the universe. And people were burnt at the stake because they said, no, that's not true. And then we said, okay, so science has proven we are not the center of the universe, but we're still the center of the solar system. And then Copernicus came along and said, well, actually, no, we're not. We're just one planet zipping around the sun. The sun is the center of the universe. And again, people were killed because of this. And we take ourselves very seriously. We think that the Earth is like a backdrop to like a supermarket that is to deliver our needs. And we just go and take whatever it is we want, and nothing will come of it. So we need, that's, you know, that way misery lies, our own foremost. So we need to move away from this ecocentric view with a view of humanity at the tip of everything, and the most important thing as us as part of everything else. And this is again where, you know, India is so very strong. So who wants change? Everybody. Who wants to change? Me. Who wants to lead the change? Goodbye. So you know, you are the people who can help to make this happen. And this is where it now gets to the good stuff. So because we can't afford not to act, if we are looking at, I can send you the picture, Dr. Sharma. If we look at, you know, 8.5 million people have been infected. I think it's even more now. It's an older figure, but I updated. The 700,000 have been killed by COVID-19. Millions of economically disadvantaged people have been plunged into abject poverty because of this thing. Much of the global economy has been shut down to contain the virus and keep healthcare systems from collapsing. The IMF estimates that we are heading into a global recession that will last for about 100 years, and estimates that the cumulative loss to global GDP lies around $9 trillion. This is because people eat wildlife, and this is what brought this on. So the cost of inaction on biodiversity loss is high. So between 1997 and 2011, the world lost an estimated $4 to $20 trillion per year in ecosystem services because of environmental destruction, and an additional 6 to 11 trillion per year from land degradation. I don't know what the Indian GDP is, the annual GDP, but you know, this is a lot of money. So to move towards true sustainability, we need to do a couple of things. And this is the 13-point plan that was identified and endorsed by these 20,000 scientists who signed the World Scientists' Warning to Humanity's second warning. Is we need to connect well-funded nature reserves for a large proportion of the world's terrestrial, marine, freshwater, and aerial habitats. So rather than having, you know, tiny little isolated reserves, we need to connect them so that the animals can move and breed and keep genetically healthy. So it's no good to say, you know, one of the projects I work on is in New Zealand. So it's with a dolphin species. Some of them, there are only 50 individuals of this dolphin species left in New Zealand because they get caught in fishing nets and New Zealand isn't doing anything about it. So there's no point saying, oh, well, we still have 50. They are a building block of a marine ecosystem. So with most of them gone, they used to be common. The ecosystem will suffer. They are not ornaments that are out there. So we need to halt the destruction of wild habitats and rewild and restore spaces and native species to protect nature's essential ecosystem services that keep us alive. We need to do something against the loss of animal species through poaching and direct exploitation and the trade in threatened species. We need a dietary shift to plant-based food. We need to reduce food waste. Huge amounts of food chucked away in the West, huge amounts of foods chucked away. It's criminal. We need to curb human population growth. And to all the ladies that are listening here, think about, you know, the more of us there are, the more we need to share what we have, and we are already using more than there is. So think about the number of children you have. Investments, I know it's not popular. If you say to people, please don't eat meat and please don't have so many babies, you lose a lot of friends very quickly. So, because we think they're very private matters, personal choice, but they have an impact. We need to have investment and purchases to encourage positive environmental change. So what we buy and where we invest changes the world. We need to prioritize environmental education. And that's why I'm talking to you here across all age groups, so that people understand how important this is. This is not an afterthought. This is key. You know, we need to invest in green technologies and adopt renewable energy sources while phasing out subsidies to energy production through fossil fuel. It's a no-brainer. And we need to revise the economy to reduce wealth inequality and ensure that prices, taxation, and incentive systems take account of the real cost of consumption patterns on the environment. So, sometimes change is the only option. But it can be good. It can be good for us. I believe that, echoing what Dr. Sharma said, we will be happier, more contented if we do this. There will be more peace, and everybody will, you know, there will be a life worth living for our children and our children's children. The former Director General of the IUCN put it very well when she said that sustainability is a matter of life and death for people on our planet. A sustainable future cannot be achieved without conserving biological diversity, animal and plant species, their habitats and their genes, not only for nature itself, but also for the 7 billion people who depend on it. And this is one of my favorite quotes by Chief Sial, a great Indian chief, Red Indian chief, sorry, Red American Indian chief, First Nation. This we know, he said, the earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. All things are connected like the blood that unites us all. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. What befalls the earth befalls all the sons of the earth. He said that in 1954. And I'll close by saying, India, thank you. You changed my life. In 2005, I started the Tibetan Conservation Awareness Campaign with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which turned me into a Buddhist, which got me to go to India many times. Unfortunately, I haven't been since the COVID-19 thing. This was the launch of the Tibetan Conservation Awareness Campaign in Delhi. You may recall when the Dalai Lama said, please don't use tiger skins and leopard skins and otter skins, to the Tibetans who were using it on their traditional robes and smuggling it into Tibet, and then bringing Tibetan antelope back for chartreuse shawls in India. It was to protect. What is going on? Oh my God. My computer has a will of his own. So I'm now, one of the projects I work on in India is in the Northeast, as Dr. Sharma has already said, to protect these guys in, in various national parks, including Kaziranga National Park, where we're supporting a fantastic local NGO called Aranyak, who is working very closely with the Forest Department, and we're working very closely with the police in anti-poaching. And with these wonderful animals, the national animal of Assam, the greater one-horned or Indian rhinoceros, one of the things we do is we set up this sniffer dog unit, which works with forest guards in Kaziranga in Pobitra, to help find wounded animals and, more very importantly, to find poachers, to find contraband, and ideally before they strike. All these dogs were bought as puppies. All these people, these young men, initially just wanted a job. They are now passionate conservationists. They are like family to me. I leave the money in my will. I love them like I love all my colleagues in Assam. They work under very harsh conditions, living away from their family for most of the year. Come rain or shine. Now we have the floods, of course, in Assam, which has affected many, many people, but also has drowned 150 something animals, including 13 of these rhinos. You can see here a ranger post posted by one of the forest officials in Assam, a ranger post under normal conditions and what it looks like now. The rhinos crowd onto elevated areas where they are an easy target for poachers, because, and at a time when the park is very difficult to patrol because it's underwater. So we're trying to, again, support the fantastic work of the Forest Department and of Aranyak and the police by being one chain in a global, one link in a global chain that works for biodiversity, in this case in Assam. And COVID-19 or not, the team is out patrolling with masks now. We are all in this together, and I am proud to, I'm just thank my lucky stars to be able to work in India as part of what I do. I work in many other parts of the world, but my heart belongs to India, and I can't wait to come back. And the team in Assam and I, we thank you. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm sorry if I took a lot of your time. Sorry.
It was such a wonderful session, such a wonderful session. It came right from your heart. So much to learn, so much to know, so much to pick up from you. And we have got your email also right over here, which people can take. That something is wonderful, wonderful what we have got over here. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, Dr. Barbara. You got to close your presentation. You got to close your presentation. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm just closing it.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
Sure.
I'm trying to stop screen share. Okay, there we go. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, let me clap for you right over here on behalf of all the audience from the world over. It was superb, superb, superb what you have shared with us. I'm going to say nothing could have been more pious. Nothing could have been more touching the soul, spirit, and the heart and the body. And what inspired you to take up this project in Assam? I just wish to know that from you.
Well, in my previous jobs, I have, apart from the Buddhist issue with, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, we have supported work in Corbett. One of my dearest friends was the founder of the Wildlife Trust of India, Ashok Kumar, who is now sadly dead. But we were we were very good friends, and we worked together, and I learned so much from him. So he introduced me to wildlife conservation in India. He said, Barbara, come to India, have a look. So we worked in Corbett together. We worked in Ranthambore together for tigers. We worked in Valmiki together in Bihar. And so you can get to know people. And I met the chief executive of Aranyak at a conference again after some years, and he told me about the big poaching problem in with the rangers and the rhinos and the tigers. And I said, is there something we could do if I can find the funds to help? And he said, yes, we urgently need a sniffer dog unit.
Okay.
And someone who can train it so that it is effective. So that's how it all started. So we were lucky, we managed to find some funding. And we are lucky to have these fantastic colleagues in India where, you know, everybody does their bit. I do my bit, they do their bit. The forest department does their bit. The donors in Europe or wherever else they are in the world do their bit. So we all come together for the good of the rhinos and the tigers. And yeah, it's just a fantastic area, and the people are wonderful, and there's a long way to go, but India is doing a great job. You know, if you compare India with South Africa, for example, in terms of how they handle rhino poaching, it's a difference like night and day.
Okay.
You know, India is determined to get numbers up and is doing well, but the pressure is very high. So in 1 week, we heard from the director of Kaziranga National Park. In 1 week, they had to foil 6 attempts of people trying to kill rhinos. It's particularly bad around this time of the month when the full moon is out. So at the moment we have full moon, we have flooding where the animals are congregated on elevated, where many forest guard camps are underwater, where patrolling is difficult because of the flooding. So this is a dangerous time, and these people are working in boiling heat, in high humidity. You know, there is danger not just from the poachers, but rangers get killed every year by rhinos or elephants, which is, you know, no good deed goes unpunished. It's, you know, it's terrible. So we're trying also to help the families of those people, if we can. So it's just it's a privilege to be working in a job that, you know, that fills your heart. Not many people can say that. But I think it's the case. You're doing the job, Dr. Sharma, that you're meant to do. And I feel at home in this, and I don't think of myself as German or British. I think of myself as an earthling, you know, as an earthling. So thank you.
You're a very pious soul, and you're doing a noble cause. You're doing a great job, and you're doing such a wonderful service to the entire ecosystem of the universe. It's a great cause that right from the United Kingdom, with the birth from the Germany, and taking all the studies in Africa, coming back to Cambridge, from there just moving to India, taking this particular initiative from our chamber. We would like to support your cause. And today I requested the highest authority of Government of Assam, who looks after as a bureaucrat, Dr. A.M. Singh, to be a part of this particular program. I sent a request to him. I hope he accepted my request. He must be watching this program. And if he's watching this program, I would like to make a request to him that let us help the cause which has been taken by Dr. Barbara Maas. And she wants to basically help Assam, and particularly the nature and particularly the animals, whatever he has taken. At the same time, Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India, there is a Project Tiger separately, there is a cause, and there is a department which is being done. We would also from our chamber take up with the Ministry of Environment and Forest. We will push that, and you kindly write to us. We will take from our chamber. Thirdly, there are lots of people world over, those can support good cause. There are a lot of people, those are doing great charity, great service, great cause. So I will make 2 requests to you. Number 1, in the chat box, if you can just put your name and your email ID on which people can reach you. If you can just give your email ID and your name so that people, those want to support the cause, they can reach. And at the same time, on my Facebook page, Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page, where people are watching and they have opened the watch parties. So Dr. Gulshan Sharma page, if you come on that also, first you can put in the chat box. In this chat box of the webinar, you can put your name and your email ID. And at the same time, we go to Facebook, my account, that is my web page, this Facebook page, which I have got, Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page. You go on that, and over there you can post your name and your email ID so that people can reach you. By the time, if you permit me, while giving my deepest and heartiest blessings and thanks and congratulations to you, I've got 6 girls lined up over here with us. We'll give them a minute or two, and meanwhile, you can take on both the Facebook as well as the watch party, and you can just post your name and your email ID so that people can reach you world over wherever they are. With these words, I extend a very hearty welcome to all the girls, and I will get back to you, Dr. Barbara, again after I finish with the 6 girls. So with these words, let me extend a very warm welcome and a hearty welcome, and let's start with Kavya. Where are you, Kavya? And hearty welcome to you, beta. Unmute your mic, child.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Kavya.
Good evening, sir. So this was very informative, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, beta.
It's actually quite informative, and it's quite inspiring.
Yes, and madam shared so much of information with all of us, you know.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot for this.
Those visuals basically gave a lot of depth to us. Achha,
yes.
Kavya, I hope beta parents and your brothers, sisters and neighbors and everybody is fine over there wherever you are.
Yes, sir. Everyone is fine here. We're taking care of ourselves. Good care of ourselves.
Very good. And Kavya, what are you doing, beta? What are you studying?
Sir, I'm actually in the 11th grade, and I have taken physics, chemistry, and maths. It's my subjects.
Okay. Physics, chemistry, and maths. मम्मी पापा ने कहा इसलिए लिया है कि तुमने अपने आप लिया है?
नहीं, मैंने अपने आप लिया है because I want to do architecture, so I will need these subjects.
पक्का प्रॉमिस है? कोई?
हाँ, पक्का प्रॉमिस है. I need these subjects for architecture.
Okay, good. What message would you like to give to all the girl child world over, beta? आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे, Kavya?
The message which I would like to give is that don't think of yourself just as girls, and don't differentiate that there are boys and we are girls. Just think of yourselves as human beings, and human beings are unstoppable. So be unstoppable.
Wow. Human beings are unstoppable. What are your hobbies, beta?
So I'm interested in art and singing and dancing.
Wow. So you appreciate the new policy.
And spirituality also.
Spirituality also. Wow. I have requested Shivani ma'am from Brahma Kumaris and Shri Ravi Shankar ji and Sadhguru ji to come on 12th of August, which is a basically World Yuva Day, World Youth Day. So we will have all of you on that day. God bless you, beta. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, sir, for inviting me to this. Thank you.
Get Devanshri. Devanshri, unmute your mic, child. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
How are you, mera beta?
I am quite fine and amazing after seeing this session. I would like to say something. I have spent all my pre-teens and teen life following Marilyn Monroe and Eleanor Roosevelt, all these great female role models. But today, I am very sure that I have a new female role model, and that is Dr. Barbara Maas. I love her.
That's great. Devanshri, beta, see, Dr. Barbara, you are the celebrity now. Okay, Devanshri, parents, mama, papa, all are fine, beta?
Yes, sir, all of them are perfect.
Good, I'm so happy. What message would you like to give to every girl child world over, beta?
Well, I would like to quote this thing I saw online once, that there are rarely any extraordinary women in... No, wait, I got confused, sorry. There are rarely...
Huh?
there are rarely any extraordinary men in real life as there are in movies, and there are rarely as ordinary women in real life as there are in movies. It's
You all
just
are
the quote.
extraordinary. You all are extraordinary.
I have been in all my academic career, I have been called as a very opinionated person. So I have been in all these debates, fighting my way through everything, and that has developed something in me, a deep respect for every woman which is out there, because I believe that without a woman, I think there's this quote everybody has heard, that a woman without a man is a fish without a bicycle.
Ah,
So it's
oh
it's
God,
just
great.
it's just that women are not wanted, women are needed by
Ah,
humanity.
God bless you. God bless you, my
Thank you, sir.
child. God bless you. Proud of you, proud of you, proud of your parents, proud of your grandparents, and proud of your family, beta. God bless you.
Thank
Such
you
a
very much,
wonderful
sir.
thought process. आप बच्चा लोग अपना वीडियो ठीक करके आप लोगों को आना चाहिए, पूरे वर्ल्ड को दिखाना चाहिए कि आप कौन हैं, कैसे हैं. People want to see you, you know. It's always good. Anyway, next time. Radhika, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm all fine. How are you?
Good. Beta, parents and everybody at home, all are fine.
Yes, everyone's doing quite fine.
I hope Radhika enjoyed this evening, child.
Yeah, it was actually really nice. I personally love animals and I just love seeing everything. It was
Wow.
like the way she explained it was so pure and I just loved it.
Like she's just sitting over here next to us and talking to us like a family, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just so
Even
lovely.
though she's in UK, it feels like she's right beside me.
That's good. So Radhika, what would you like to tell every girl child world over, beta? Dr. Barbara is
Uh,
sending you a flying kiss.
oh, thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to
Yeah.
say that there's a quote like a girl should be two things, who and what she wants, and I praise that. And I'd like to say that not a girl should not think herself as like a gender, and and like she's a woman. I mean, she has a voice and she can make change in the way she wants.
Okay. 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 Great. That's great. So आप क्या पढ़ाई कर रहे हो बेटे अभी?
I'm currently studying science, PCM, and computer science.
Okay. Are you enjoying computer sciences?
Yeah, yes, a lot. I love it.
Great. God bless you, beta. Have a wonderful future for yourself.
Thank you so much.
And regards to your family, regards to everybody at your home, beta.
Yes, stay
Uh,
safe.
Rajvinder, have you joined? I can't see you. Ruchi, I can't see you. And Dhriti, I can't see you. So, well, only 3 kids joined this evening. Now, Barbara ma'am, we are back to you. And let me convey my deepest regards and gratitudes to you, and we promise you from our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, as an elder brother, we will try and support what best we can do from our forum, from our chamber. You're doing a great job. You're doing a noble cause. You're trying to save the human species, animal species. You're trying to save the nature, and you're trying to bring a balance in the entire ecosystem. Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India, we will take up. With the Assam government, we will take up. I would also request Dr. A.M. Singh personally, who is the head of the entire forest, wildlife, nature, whatever you can think about the green system of Assam, I would request him to take it up. And at the same time, the entire global fraternity which is joining over here, here is a lady. She has already posted her email in the Facebook account of Dr. Gulshan Sharma. And she has also posted in the chat box over here, Dr. Barbara Maas. And she is at present at the Guildford. She is in UK and she is doing a great job in India. And all my fellow Indians and others, those are watching this particular program, Let's support the cause. And finally, I would like to tell you, lady, that our president, Professor Pontrip Narula, who's watching this particular program from Thailand in Bangkok, he is a president of the Vegan Society of Thailand. Besides ICSI president, he's also president of the Vegan Society, and he believes in, and I'm quite surprised, his shoes, his belt, his turban, and anything, no leather, nothing of the animals, and absolutely 100% vegan. He's the person who is promoting, he's a living legend in that arena. So, ladies and gentlemen, with these words, our deepest regards and gratitudes and thanks and salutations to Dr. Barbara Maas, who joined us this evening from UK, and we look forward to have her soon in Assam, in Kaziranga, for the noble cause. And before that, ma'am, write to us and we will take up your noble cause and your great cause and your human cause and animal and social cause which you have taken up. We would try and support the best possible way, because you follow Buddhism also. So finally, while going, would you like to tell something in Buddhism? If you would like to tell to the entire universe, you can unmute your mic. And if you want to tell something onto that, because you got to, yes, now it is unmuted. You can tell something on that, and then we wind up the program.
Yeah, I'm not much known quote by His Holiness the Dalai Lama is, kindness is the revolution of our time. Kindness
Is the,
and what attracted me to Buddhism is that it looks at all compassion towards all species, not just humans.
yes.
It looks at all species. And when I first heard the Buddhist saying, which you may or may not know, that as a Mahayana Buddhist, we are supposed to love each living being as much as a mother loves her only child.
Great.
That is something that inspires me.
Okay.
It's work in progress. But you know, some living beings don't make it so easy. But you know, it's something to aspire to. And I can tell you that since I don't eat meat anymore, and since I have become Buddhist, and I try not to see myself as the most important thing, and I'm more I don't buy as much things anymore. I turn away from consumerism. I live more simply. I am much happier, and it's free. It's free. So India, thank you for, you know, for, we hear that with COVID-19, we need to stay inside. We also need to turn inside,
Yes.
and seek happiness there, because it's not out there. It's in our hearts.
Okay.
And I'm inspired by all of you and by you and by all these wonderful girls that have spoken today and on other days. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for offering to take up the cause and share in this mission. Anybody, thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. It was a great cause. It was a wonderful evening, and may God bless your vision, your thought process, and a wonderful task which you have taken. We all will try to empower the best possible way. God bless you. God bless you always. Thanks for joining us this evening. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.